All right, here we are. It is Friday again. I love Fridays. I love coming on here and kind of just teaching what I got and helping you. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. We have a lot of new people into the group today, so I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Julie, of course, and I own a brokerage in Central Florida for about 22 years. And since we do have a lot of new people in the group today, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about me before we get diving deep into planting seeds for the 2023 spring market. Okay. All right. Like I said, my name is Julie, and my husband and I own our brokerage, Prime Real Estate, in Central Florida, and we've owned it for about 22 years. We have never worked for another brokerage. We have always worked for our own corporation. When we got our sales licenses, we formed our corporation, we hired a broker of record, and that's how we got going. I mean, he did not help us. He did not do anything but take his check, let me tell you. But what that gave us was the ability to create our own brand. We had a designated broker, but we were still in charge. We made all of our own decisions, all of our own branding, everything was ours. Okay. And then, of course, when I got my broker license, we executed our exit plan. Okay. So that's one way to do it. If you're scrappy enough and if you're a Florida agent, I can absolutely be your designated broker of record. If you are destined to have your own brokerage, but you just tipping toeing around, making that jump, let me know because that's really what I have a heart and passion for. I help agents transition their businesses from an independent brokerage from an independent agent into a boutique brokerage. You can be a brokerage of one, right? You can function absolutely like you do now independently. Okay. So that's my philosophy, that's my theory. Okay. But today we're here to talk about planting your seeds for the 2023 spring market. Now, it's no surprise to me that we are right at the cusp of finally admitting that we are in a recession. Okay. I could have told them that we would be here, you know, 2 years ago, right? Anyone who didn't anticipate this day really is just, you've got to look a little bit farther in advance. So that's what we're kind of here today to do is look a little bit farther in advance, okay? It's imperative in our industry, in case you haven't figured this out yet, it's imperative that you have a very strong spring market, okay? Because that's where your money's made. That it's no secret, right? That's how it got, its reputation for the spring market. That's where everyone has finally gotten over the year before and they're through the holidays and they're ready to start making some changes. Those changes are always made in the spring, inevitably, right? Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can prepare for the spring market today and not be kind of behind the wheel come January. Okay. Some things that we're doing in our coaching group, we're starting to plan not only our holiday marketing, right? And I'm going to discuss some holiday marketing ideas, but we're starting our January. Okay. We are already starting our January. We will have our targeted ads created, set, and scheduled to go off January 1 after the soft marketing. Okay. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I feel soft marketing should look like. Okay. And the reason why you want to do that is because I don't know about you, but January 1 comes and goes pretty quick. And although you have the best intentions of getting right to work on January 2nd, because you've got all these great goals in mind, I'm telling you what, inevitably, in the blink of an eye, you're going to look up and it's January 10th. And then you're going to turn around and like, oh my God, it's already February 1st. It's the Super Bowl. Where has January gone? And you will have been already, behind the eight ball if that happens, right? Because the spring market is already should be up and running and in full swing, in full bloom. Okay, so you're going to want your marketing up and running before January. That's my goal. Okay, now first thing I'm going to mention, I mentioned warm marketing. Okay, what is warm marketing? Well, it isn't going to be anything that sounds like you're selling anything. Okay, this is November, December. We've got the holidays coming up. There's a couple of things you can do, but you don't really want to be out there pitching, do you? Nobody's going to be, unless you've already got a buyer deep in it, already pre-qualified, already hitting the ground running, it's going to be difficult. I'm sure you're probably already hearing it in the conversations. I'm just going to wait till after the first of the year. I'm going to wait to see what interest rates do. You're going to hear these excuses. Well, they're excuses because the consumer has a lot on their plate these next 2 months. Okay. If you don't have something in your pipeline, if you don't already know, okay, this is my November, this is my December, you're not going to get anything up and running probably at this point, unless it's a quick cash deal. Okay. Those always pop in and they're nice. We got a nice quick cash deal lay on our lap yesterday, 5 acres of land that they just want it sold. Great. That's a couple of phone calls and that is sold. That is quick cash. Okay. Those type of transactions are always fun, aren't they? But I'm talking about those buyers and those sellers that you're working and nurturing and talking to and, trying to get them over that fence, right? It's not going to happen. Okay. It's not going to happen, but you got to stay with them, don't you? And your audience. You've got to keep your entire social media audience engaged, especially if you're doing targeted ads all along. You don't want to just turn the pipeline off, right? If you generate ads with targeted ads like we do, we never turn our targeted ads off, ever. Okay. If I do that, we might as well be out of business. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to do? What do you advertise November and December? Let me share screen real quick with you, and I'll give you an example of what we're doing to keep our audience engaged, keep our, in their face, so to speak, without being in their face, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can do this. And depending on the size of your business and scale and your marketing efforts, some agents may start out with, if they've got 25, 50 inner circle clients that they nurture, a pop-by might be perfect. We used to do pies at Thanksgiving. So there's lots of things that you can do if you've got a smaller audience like that. But I'm going to be focusing on those that have larger scale audiences and do some marketing either with social media and have larger audiences that, have pipelines that need to stay warm, even if it's November and December, right? Okay. So take a quick look at this. I'm going to give you an idea of what I consider warm marketing for the holidays. Okay. And here's my business page. Okay. Now this particular ad, something like this. First, you can see, of course, you see these all the time, see more, right? If you've got somebody scrolling your page, or I'll show you what I do with this particular ad, and it'll come across your newsfeed. The minute somebody clicks on see more, right, that is an engagement for your audience, okay? And then that puts other ads in front of them as well. Okay, so this is why you want to keep these audiences warm and engaged, because when you are retargeting properly, you're going to keep your ads always in front of your consumers. Okay, so this particular post is a story about a single parent that is working in a, it's a heartfelt story, right? It's a story that is obviously long enough. It's going to keep the person engaged reading it for, and that Facebook likes that, right? And of course, it gives permission to copy and share and paste. And this is a photo I put with it. You probably may even recognize this particular story, okay? This is what I want you to find, is something that is generic and pulls at the heart. Homelessness, of course, always pulls at the heart for the holidays. But if you don't want to do something about a homeless story on your page, that's fine. I feel like it's very much within our wheelhouse, being realtors. But if you don't like that kind of thing, that's fine. You're looking for a viral story. And if it's generic like this, and it says copy and paste, there's no credits, grab it, okay? Grab that story if you like it, copy and paste it, and put your own picture to it. That's what I did here, okay? This is the picture I chose out of Canva, and I have put some money behind this particular post. Now I've got it going out to all of my warm audiences only on an engagement post, okay? So this is going to keep my audience greased, so to speak, okay? And this is a nice, warm marketing strategy, okay? So I've got that particular ad running from now until the end of December. It doesn't say anything about buying a house, doesn't say anything about selling a house, right? You're looking for the engagement because you want to keep your audience warm. If I had been running targeted ads, boom, 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 all year long, selling my listings, and then all of a sudden I stopped running targeted ads just because it's the holiday, just because maybe I'm out of listings, or just because I don't feel like pitching, right? If I were to just stop, all of those efforts would be for nothing, okay? It would be like, so much effort to warm those audiences again come January, February, if I let them go cold for 2 months, okay? So you have to understand the strategy behind what you are doing with your marketing dollars, okay? And I happen to have put a stake in the ground a long time ago that targeted ads were going to be my marketing wheelhouse, okay? I have been playing and creating targeted ads for 11 years on Facebook. I don't use any click and create systems. I don't let my CRM create an ad for me. I don't hire anybody else to do that for me, because nobody else knows my avatar. Nobody knows my messaging better than I do, okay? And my strategy. So it takes nothing to do it on your own accord once you know what you're doing, okay? So I want you to just keep that in mind. If that's something that you need to do differently for your business next year, is to put a stake in the ground at whatever you're going to decide to do, whatever you can afford to do during a recession, okay? That's going to put eyes on your brand. See, that's why I love Facebook, is because it's so subliminal. And what else? What else can you put besides Google, of course? What else can you put money behind that's going to create an audience of thousands? I'm not talking about 5,000 in your friends circle, okay? I'm not talking about even, a TikTok audience. These audiences are raw data. They're nothing but raw data unless you have the ability to drive them to somewhere that's going to allow them to have that warm, fuzzy feeling with you and give up their personal information to you and be in your ecosystem, right? That's a lead when they give you their information, isn't it? You've got to convert them from raw data, from an audience, from a video view audience, from someone who is just scrolling in their news feed and stop and watch your video for 3 seconds, right? That's what you're talking about. Someone who's watched your video for 3 seconds. How can you convert that person to buying a home next year? That needs to be your plan, okay? Or sell a home next year, all right? So to maintain your warm marketing efforts, like I said, my go-to is targeted Facebook ads, okay? If you've got, a direct mail marketing, email marketing, if you like to knock on doors, if you like to do open houses, whatever your stake in the ground is going to be, that's what you need to kind of decide upon, okay? Because the next thing you want to be able to do to be ready for this spring market, you got this time right here, right? You got this lull right here. You're going to be kind of crazy. Either your market, like a Florida market, we've got a homestead exemption. So we'll get one more push before the end of the year. Everybody tries to close before the 31st for their homestead exemption. So you've got your rhythm in your market. You know what your market is. That's our rhythm here in Central Florida, right? So I know my business, if I don't have something under contract by the 10th of the month, it's, I'm done. I might as well just, go to my cabin and enjoy my holiday, because I'm going to have everything set up and already scheduled to hit the ground running even before I do. Okay. All right. So one of the things that we're doing now is identifying opportunities in your own sphere of influence. Okay. So if you don't have a CRM that runs like a fine-tuned machine, I'm talking a fine-tuned machine, not just someplace you dump data into. Okay, you've got to get a hold of your CRM, all right? Or you're just running around, you're chasing your tail unless you have a fine-tuned machine with a CRM. That means every prospect has a touch point where you're going to talk to them next, right? Every prospect has a saved search where they are being fed listings, whether they're looking for a house or not, okay? They're going to get listings from us, okay? And they're on your email list, and they're all being nurtured in your ecosystem. These are the people that are in your incubator, okay? So if your incubator, doesn't have its poop in one scoop, you're oozing business that you don't even realize, right? You've got to have these people all tagged, all a touch point, all when you're going to reach out, all notes on their lives if you've ever talked to them, right? And know what their aspirations are for buying a home or selling a home. So we are identifying opportunities now, today. If people are saying, I'm going to wait until after the first of the year, okay, great. We got them on a hit list for after the first of the year, okay? You've got to be organized to have those people ready to rock and roll, or at least reach out to them and move them along, okay? Because they're going to be in that holiday rut just like you probably are, right? So after the holidays, people are a little bit more motivated, or at least our avatar is, because we work with a lot of first-time home buyers. So we've got first-time home buyers that are going to be getting their tax returns, so that's why we'll have a flush of first-time home buyers early in the year, reinvesting their tax dollars. And those are our marketing messages that we put out, sellers that need to get moved in the spring. Those are things that we put out, and we plan in advance what those marketing messages are going to be. Okay. If you want to focus on sellers, then your marketing messages should be targeting sellers, not sellers and buyers, but sellers. Okay. Now I've got a distressed market property workshop coming up on November 14th, and we're going to dive deep specifically into all things foreclosure. I listed REO and bank foreclosures for 12 years when the last market crashed. I don't do it anymore. Trust me. It's a go big or go home thing, but you don't have to do REOs and BPOs to even dip your foot in the door. You're going to be faced with a lot of short sales, most likely in your market, especially if you've been in markets that have inflated. You know which markets those are, right? The Midwest doesn't always inflate as fast or furious as, maybe Florida, California, other hotter markets, Texas, that kind of thing, right? Okay. All right, good. Yeah, who you saw coming, huh? I'm sure you're talking about the recession, right? And what CRM do I use? I use a website, CRM. It's under one umbrella, very user-friendly. It's iHouse Web. So if you're serious about getting something put together, and I'm not talking about your broker's CRM, okay? I am not talking about your broker CRM. At some point in time in your career, you need to break away, whether you've got the intentions of ever having your own brokerage or not, okay? At some point in time in your career, and the sooner the better, okay? So if you're in this 1 or 2 years, don't postpone this. You need to make that investment and get your own CRM, okay? So that you are in control of your own data and you will have it your entire career. I think I have used this website probably since 2009, if I had to take a wild guess. So, it's something that you don't want to ever have to, you want to be married to your CRM. So choose wisely, grasshopper. Okay. Your broker doesn't have a CRM. Okay. Well, good for you. Good for you. That means you need to buy your own. Okay. So that's what you need to do. You need to have your place. You need to have all of your people in one place. You need to have your business organized. Some things that we did differently, I'll tell you that, when we branch off into another stream of income, we have to invest in those tools. When I started doing short-term property management, I had to invest in that platform. Okay. These are things you just got to do. All right. Otherwise, there you are. I'm pretty blunt in case you haven't noticed. Right? All right. So here we go. Let's keep going. Okay. All right. So after you have identified your own opportunities, you've got a list. You have a list of possibles and maybes, and you put that list on a whiteboard, or you write it on a big sticky note somewhere. But you got a list of everyone who has indicated to you that they want to do something this spring. Okay? You need to look at that list every day. You know what I'm saying? You need to manifest that list. And that is your spring market, right? You need to focus heavily in the spring, because in case you haven't noticed, if you haven't experienced that this year, I think everyone has, or most everyone has, a little bit of slowdown, right? Buyers are priced out of the market, man. I feel sorry for them. They're in sticker shock right now, but they're going to have to realize that this is the world we live in today, right? And at that point in time, they're going to move forward, right? They will. I promise you. All right. There's always opportunity in real estate. I bought my first home in like 1985. My husband at the time was a veteran. We paid 12.5% interest. So let me tell you what, at some point in time, the consumer is going to realize this is the world we live in. I'm going to need to move on. I'm going to have to figure out how to buy a house, because this is not getting any better, right? in the wake of inflation, right? In the wake of inflation, the prices are going to sling back. I mean, they will. All right. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. You know, that's what happens. All right. We're going to have great opportunity. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have that foresight to understand what's going to be happening in the market. Okay. So my next point of contention is to decide today what niche you're going to go after. Okay. Because if you haven't sat around and looked, buyers ain't buying and sellers ain't selling unless they have to, right? Unless they have to. So you need to have a brainstorm party with yourself and decide who's going to have to sell next year. And you're going to have to go after that niche. It's going to have to be something you've never had to do before, right? Because you can't sit around here and twiddle your thumbs waiting for somebody to buy their first home when they're scared to death, right? Or you can't sit around and wait for somebody who thought about selling their home because they'd like a little bit more square footage. You know, those are not going to be motivating factors when the consumer is frozen, okay? You're going to have to focus on those sellers who have to sell. Who are they? Who are they? They are probate. They are divorce. They are dilapidated properties, unmaintained properties that have liens against them, and they're going to be distressed properties, okay? That particular consumer goes through a very unique psychological roller coaster, okay? So you've got to really, if distressed properties and short sales, it'll be lucrative. It'll be very lucrative, but you have to understand that consumer and how to attract that consumer compassionately, right? You know, you have to understand how to speak to that consumer compassionately. And you have to understand the process that that's going to have to go through and the marketing, the unique marketing that has to occur with short sales, because they're not like every other listing. They're different. Okay. So now is your opportunity to get that learning curve out of the way. Okay. So if distressed properties are something that you feel you can have a wheelhouse with, then I'll have that training for you on the 14th of November. It's a 4-day workshop. You're going to get everything. And like I said, we listed and sold BPOs. We did BPOs. We started out doing BPOs for probably 3 years before we got our first REO listing. And then we listed REOs. And let me tell you what, that if you're a boutique brokerage and you want to grow, that's your opportunity. You know, if you're an independent agent, that's going to be something you're going to put on the shelf, you know. But short sales, before they become a BPO or before they become an REO asset, they are short sales, okay? They will be short sale listings first before they'll become an REO listing. So you want to get to that consumer while they still have the dignity to deal with the situation, okay? Because at that point in time, they're not going to have any equity, okay? Not to do a short sale. They're not going to have any equity. By the time they get to that point in time, they probably have not made a mortgage payment for probably 3 years, okay? They're not going to have any equity left. That's why they'll be a short sale. So the only thing that they'll have left is a little bit of dignity to hold on to. And you've got to be able to navigate that, okay? So we'll have that for you on the 14th. Now, those are some decisions that you need to make today. What are you going to do differently? What are you going to tap into differently next year that you did not do this year for your business? Okay? You've got to do that, because if you aren't shifting and moving and bobbing and weaving, if you stay stagnant, you will die on the vine. Your business will die on the vine. Okay? I promise you. You're already starting to see it, aren't you? You see it. You see agents all around you dropping like flies if you pay attention. All right. The next thing we want to do, once you decide what niche you're going to go after, like I said, you're going to have to pull the trigger and make the investments. You're going to have the proper tool stack to go after the business you're looking for. All right. For example, this year, 2022, because I've, and let me tell you what, I'm not kidding. When in March of 2020, when I get a notice on my iPhone, President Trump is, closing the economy down or something like that. I don't even remember what it was. I was like, what? I don't watch the news, but I ran out there and I turned on CNN and I was watching mega corporations standing there. The NBA is going to be shut down. The baseball season is shut down. The football season, the Mouse House, when they closed Disney down, I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to be fun. You know what I mean? I knew then that this doesn't turn around. This does not turn around in 2 weeks. It doesn't turn around in 6 weeks. You're fooling yourself if you thought that was going to be the end of it. Anyone who thought that this was going to be a joyride, it always starts out like that. Ooh, yeah, we're hot. It always starts out all happy. Everybody's on the increase, and then it starts to and reality starts to sit in, right? When the reality sets in, this isn't my first recession. 9/11. If you were in business after 9/11, let me tell you what, the world shut down after 9/11. Okay? There are lots of market disruptors in our world, and you've got to recession-proof your business no matter what's happening in the world, because it can drop like a dime. Okay? It drops like a dime. All right. So my last point here is, once you decide what niche you're going to go after, you've got to invest in that tool stack. So like I started to say, I think I probably got sidetracked. I'll do that once in a while. But I started to say what we did differently this year is, I've done property management for several years. That's my cash cow, right? Is property management. So I expanded into vacation and short-term rentals. That's been very lucrative. I'm very pleased. That definitely is softening the blow of a recession. Because let me tell you what, in a recession, there will be people who have, and there will be people who have not. And that's just the way the world goes around, So those who have, they will continue to vacation. Okay? So these are some things that you can put into your business and think about. If this goes this way, what's going to happen the opposite direction? Who does what? What happens here? What happens here? You've got to have the tool stack, however, to do what you need to do, right? So when I did my vacation rentals, I had to invest in the website, the CRM, the bank account, the whole 9 yards had to be set up. Right? You can't just do something half-assed. Okay? You got to think through the process, step by step, where it comes in the door, how it's going to be housed and nurtured, and how it's going to be converted. Okay? And if you need help with that, let me know. Okay? So I'm good. Any questions? I see questions here. So wow, I see a lot of questions. I'm so sorry. I just started babbling. I get off on tangents sometimes. Let me get some water in me and we'll roll through these. Okay, let's see what we got here. Wow. I love it. Okay. Blunt is good. Yes. Yes. Those who know me well. I am pretty blunt and I'm pretty straightforward, and I deliver no BS. I do not fluff it. Okay. Good. Thank you. uh, yes, ihouseweb.com. I actually have an affiliate link if you don't mind. I'll absolutely be happy to share that in the comments as soon as I log off. I have an affiliate link in it. I think it gives me a little bit of a discount on my monthly bill if someone uses it. Okay. So feel free to use that if you want to jump in. Oh, Kendall. Yep. Kendall's very familiar with the iHouse Web. She's had her frustrations with it when we first met, and I was able to help her straighten some things out. I have had iHouse Web for so long. I was probably part of their IPO or something, because when they revamped their Turbo Leads, their CRM, they did that maybe 8 or 9 years ago. I helped them and I implemented several features in there that I wanted in there, and they took my feedback and put it in there. So when I call, they listen. Let me tell you. There's Kendall for 4 years. Good. Very good at helping with it. Yeah. So if anybody, that's one of the things that we do in my coaching program. Obviously, you have to have a CRM. If that's something you've never ventured down the road to doing before, that's absolutely something that I can help you with. Like I said, that's part of my training. I can personally train you on that iHouse because I know it like the back of my hand. Okay. It's, you have so much flexibility, I think, with it, a lot more than you do maybe with something like KV Core or something that's under your umbrella from your brokerage. If you don't have the ability to create, custom landing pages and links, and those are the pages that I drive all of my Facebook targeted ads to. I drive them all to my website. So absolutely, if you don't have your own tool stack for that, you don't want your pixel, right? You're not going to be able to track it, your conversions or your tracking your traffic without the pixel being properly attached to the website. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so it's $109 there. Okay, good. All right, I will definitely drop the link down there, so wait for the link to come in. I do want to say hello to Casey Carroll. She's my new friend. She's in the audience if you're watching. Okay, good. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, yes, the blogging, that's where absolutely, you can RSS feed that right into your website. That's a help, isn't it? Okay. To have a brokerage, well, let me tell you, I have, I function, we are an independent brokerage. We are a mom and pop shop. My son is a broker. My husband is an agent. I'm a broker. And that's it. It's just 3 of us. So we have the iHouse Web. Now it does have the capability. It does offer I think I just have the agent site, to be honest with you. It does have a brokerage site, okay, for a small brokerage that allows you to offer pages to your agents if you want to give them a website. Of course, all of that back end data is yours when they leave. That's no secret. I hope everyone knows that, right? That back end data, if you are sharing your CRM with your brokerage, that data is absorbed. Okay, just so you know that. Hopefully you've got that under control. Okay. All right. Anything else? I think I've scrolled through all of those. Okay. If you want to jump on the short sale workshop, here's the link right here. You'll see the posts going through the breakthrough group as well. You can jump on any of those and you'll see your emails coming through as well. But do join me on the 14th. For $97, you're going to get jam-packed and you're going to be ready. You're going to be ready with everything that you need to understand what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, and when it's going to happen, because it's a much slower slide down, really, than people think. People think when they hear the word a market crash, and of course I don't ever use that word because it's just a correction, right? It's just a correction. And there's opportunity in every real estate market. My philosophy is always 101 ways to make money in real estate. You just have to keep your mind open and look for opportunities, right? When the market crashed the last time, we were the first agency, the first brokerage in our county to even figure out or know what a short sale was, right? Nobody knew what to do or how to do it. And then here I come along and I start advertising short sales, and we dominated the market. We literally dominated the market during that period of time. Okay. So there is opportunity in every situation. And if you feel like you are stagnant, that you haven't moved forward, you haven't done any, if you're feeling like that, I'm going to tell you what, right now, turn off the news. Turn off the news and start feeding your brain with some positive stuff, because you're going to need it. You are going to need it. Okay. I do not watch the news. I do not allow negative into my mind or around me. And you have to stay positive, and you have to stay focused on what you want to get out of this. If you want to build a business, absolutely, this is a great time to do that. Okay. But if you are frozen, you have to move forward. You have to get some momentum. You have to get out of the rut. You have to move forward. Jump in, do something different, hang out with somebody new, hang out in here for a while, okay? Just move forward, okay? That's all you got to do is move forward, okay? I'm going to leave you with that thought today. Thank you. I'll see you next Friday. I'm here every Friday at 11 o'clock. You let me know if you got any questions or problems, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.